Hey there nation, welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we're back with another episode of Hobbyside. And on this episode we are taking another look at the progress we made for our gangs, our Necromunda gangs, for an upcoming series called Anarchy Road. Now, whether you guys are aware of it or not, Anarchy Road is actually a homemade campaign setting that my gaming group and I came up with. You can find the description and down below. You can find the links to the rules that we created. It's a 60-page PDF where we basically made vehicle rules for Necromunda, and we're going to do a vehicle-based campaign set in the Ash Wastes. And we got 5 different gangs that'll be involved with that. It's going to be a narrative campaign, so they'll have like quests that they'll go on to fight various factions out in the Ash Wastes. So we're looking very forward to that. So this is the progress that we've made on 2 of our gangs that we have actually completed. So as you can see, we have a House Orlock gang here. This gang is called the Jury. It is a House Orlock gang. This is the gang that I will be playing for our narrative campaign. We have a second gang here. These are called the Warboyz. And the Warboyz are an Ash Waste Nomad gang. Granted, they're all orcs, but the way I wrote the campaign setting rules is that you could actually use different profiles for different members of the gang. And so because of that, my buddy Brother Grim wanted to play orcs, so that's exactly what we did. So he's using orcs to play those guys as well. And we're going to be talking about exactly the design concept behind each of the gangs, and talks about how we went about painting them. So first of all, let's go and talk about the Jury. So this is my gang. This is the gang I'll be playing. It's called the Jury. It is a House Orlock gang. Very, very excited about these guys. And as you can see, they're mounted on a orc truck. It's called a tumbler, is what I call it. This will be the vehicle that I'm using. As you can see, we got some new things on here. So you can see it has a grabbing claw on the side. We got a harpoon launcher, a heavy stubber, and a mount on the forward decking. I got our crew members. I also got some guys in the back. As you can see, we have Apollonia's Gauge, as well as a Slave Moderna. Special characters, but these are just gonna be normal gangers in my gang. That's my gang leader. That's one of my gang champions. Is all that is. You can see it looks really cool. Now, if you're wondering what these little poles are here, these little things on the tips, these are called boomsticks. Like if you ever watched the movie Mad Max Fury Road, the characters in that movie use these spears that they throw with explosive tips. Well, I don't know what they're called, but I call them boomsticks in our campaign. So we have those. We also have our little pole vaults over here. These are called polecat pole vaulting pikes. The idea is supposed to be that you can pole vault off the side of your vehicle to board enemy vehicles. So this is my Orlock gang. I got some forge rolled heads as well as some forge rolled arms for some of the members of the gang because I thought they looked really, really cool. And I will, of course, went with my blue motif on these guys. Now, if you guys ever remember, I actually played a Caldor gang our last campaign called the Jury as well. I like that name. These characters actually have the very same names that gang did as well. And the reason why is because I've been playing that gang since the 90s, and I like the names, I like the narrative. The difference, though, is that I like the aesthetic of the Orlocks in this current rendition of Necromunda a lot more than the Caldor guys. Originally, Necromunda, I thought the Orlock back in the mid-90s when they first came out, I thought they looked kind of cheesy. I didn't care for the way they look. I'm shallow that way, I guess. But they look really awesome in the current rendition of Necromunda, so I shelled out some money to get that gang to use it for my campaign. So yeah, this is their vehicle set, and well as their vehicle. Pretty straightforward. Went with the same blue jacket look I went with the Jury. They all got gray pants. They got a lot of leather on these guys, as well as a lot of metal. One with the green motif on their guns, like I did in my previous one. Each of them have a cause have different colored hair because they don't want to look like punk rockers. And it just looks really, really awesome, and I'm really, really happy with the way that it turned out. And we have our second gang, the Warboyz, which of course is our Ash Waste Nomad gang. These guys are actually kind of cool. Actually, the gang is actually, let me put these guys here to the side. The gang actually consists of these 4 vehicles here with their crew members. Now, if you're wondering what these guys are actually the crew members, but they'll be on foot. So for example, I left the drivers of each of the vehicles loose. So for example, this driver here, if you wanted to, well, you can see he's kind of loose. I can see if I can take it out one hand. I can take him out. So for example, if the vehicle decides to get mounted, this is what the miniature looks like. It's got this huge axe and a stub gun. So if I was to take him out, we can then replace him with this miniature instead, which is actually the exact same miniature. And then of course he can move around and maneuver around the battlefield to do what he needs to. And then of course he can mount back on his vehicle again, and then go back to driving around. So we've done that with all the crew members. All the crew members are loose on these miniatures as well. So it consists of 3 war bikes, and each of these bikes has a polecatting polecat boarding pike on the back of it, so that way you have little, you know, routes in the back. These guys will actually pole vault down the enemy vehicles. In our Necromunda campaign for Anarchy Road, for the rules, I actually set up multiple classes of Ashe Nomads. You have Nomads, which most of these guys are here. You got your Nomad Champion, which is this guy here with the claw. And of course, that's the leader. That's Zogwarp, the World Killer. It's the Red Gobble miniature from Games Workshop. We did a quick little conversion, changed his hand over to an Imperial Guard chainsword, so look, he's carrying a chainsword as well as a pistol. And like I said before, we have a class. So we have like Nomads, which are like your general gangers. We have your champions or leaders. And then for the little guys, we have what are called punks. And punks are like the juvies for a Ash Waste Nomad gang. So those three little grots have crew members here on the ground. Those will be represented by those three fighters. We got a fighter, Nomad for each of the drivers. We have this guy here for the gang champion with the claw. He's over here mounted on the vehicle as well. So that's pretty much how I'm going about doing it. As for painting these vehicles, I decided to go with like a black paint scheme for these vehicles with metallic colors to pick out, you know, armor plating and stuff. And of course, we just put some custom colors like yellow, copper, and red to identify the different vehicles that these guys are driving as well. So it just looks really, really awesome. Did the same terracotta mud base that we always put on for orcs to make it look like they're driving around the Badlands. Very, very happy with the way it came out. It's a super colorful unit, which is kind of cool too. And you can see we have the little Warboyz here. Now, if you notice, their war paint on these guys are white. So you guys see that guy's head right there is painted in white. This guy's half his body is painted in white as well. This guy's arm is painted in white. And the reason why I did that is because we want to make it look like the Warboyz from Mad Max Fury Road. The Mad Max Fury Road guys are all white. I didn't want to make these guys completely white because it looked kind of boring, so I just made little patches of their flesh white to represent the fact that they got war paint on, to make it look like the Warboyz from Mad Max. So that's what we did for those guys as well. So you can see here, that's the crew that goes with this vehicle set here. So these are the two gangs that we have so far for our Ash Waste campaign for our series Anarchy Road, which is the set in the Ash Wastes. So looking really forward to that. So that's pretty much the gang progress we made. So now that we're done talking about this, let's go and talk about my paint station real quick and talk about what the next project is. Alright, so here we are at my paint station, and you got a little tray here, a little cardboard tray, and this is the next project that's going to be worked on, the next gang that's being worked on right now. So actually I got two gangs here. I'm going to set those out real quick. So here's the first gang. This gang is a gang of Venators. They're called the Highwaymen is what they're called. And as you can see here, we got a bunch of little customized conversions for these guys. We got a cultist, I took a Chaos Cultist and I replaced his head with a extra Hellstrider head. We got an old Goliath miniature that I replaced it with arms with a bow, as well as an axe, as well as arrows in the back, and of course a Gene Stealer Cultist head. Did exactly the same thing with this guy over here as well. On the top of his shoulder here, he's got a little grot miniature that I replaced the head with a zombie miniature. This guy has a little gun, and this guy has like two axes. So there's that this little guy is getting a piggyback from the big guy. He's also made out of a Goliath miniature as well as some orc arms. I have another orc miniature, Goliath miniature from the mid-90s. I replaced his arm with some arms from some Savage Orcs and his head from a Gene Stealer Cultist. He's looked like he's throwing a spear. I got another Chaos Cultist. I replaced his hand with a flame pistol, hand flamer, that I got from the Gene Stealer Cultist. Replaced his head with a Hellstrider head. And we of course have another guy with a bow and arrow. He's got Savage Orc arrows and bow. He's got a head of a Gene Stealer Cultist on a Goliath body with a little quiver from the Savage Orcs. So we have those guys. We also have the character, what's his name? Sly Marbo. He's the special character from the Empire, from the Imperial Guard. As you can see, he's standing on top of a drill from an old, from a frame piece, from an orc frame piece for a drill set here. This character's name is going to be Snake Plissken. He's the leader of the Highwaymen, like the Kurt Russell character. My friend's playing that one as well. And as for their vehicles, they have an Imperial Walker here that we have here. This is actually a Sentinel, I think is what they're called. It's fully kitted out, and one of the crew members will be driving that. And of course, we have their vehicle, which is this cool little vehicle here. As you can see, it's got some boarding planks on it. It's got some tools. It's a multi-axle wheel vehicle. We got some tools there as well. Tools on the side. These guys look like they're scavengers and salvagers. These are all from different toolkits from some spare orc 40k orc pieces, I think. Those came from the trunk, the truck, that I showed you earlier. And just like last time, this also has boarding pikes that they will use to pole vault onto their enemies' vehicles, as well as boomsticks. Then we made a floral wire real quick and attached to the outside of it so that we can use that for explosives. The actual vehicle is from a World War II German armored car from World War II miniature that we got from I got for cheap at a local garage sale. I was able to get it for a few bucks, and so that's what the chassis is made out of. And that's the next project we work on. And if you're wondering what this is down here I got 2 pit slave miniatures. Now we also have a gang of pit slaves. It's called the Road Crew. Now I've made some pit slave miniatures before from the Tales of the Anarchy campaign that we did years ago on my channel. So I have 3 of those guys already done already. So and yes, I've written rules for a pit slave gang in the Ash Wastes as well, which is kind of neat. So I have 2 extra pit slaves. These guys have, this guy here's got 3 arms. He's got an arm with an autocannon attached to it, which will be a heavy stubber. He's also got 2 arms, one with a claw on it, the other one's got a buzzsaw on it. Well, this character's just got a fighting claw, and he's also got a pistol as well. We're going to call it a bolt pistol. This guy's actually made from an old 40K orc arm, as well as orc pistol, and then a Goliath body and a Space Marine head. So it looks like a little cyborg, so it looks really, really cool, and that's what I decided to go with this. This one, of course, is just largely an orc knob miniature I was able to find with the arm that I got from an old miniature kit. I'm not sure where I got that arm from, but then I glued a autocannon bit that I had on the top to make it look like it's an arm carrying a gun. So it looks really, really cool as well. The only reason why I'm working on these 2 guys is because the rest of the gang is pretty much done. I'm using miniatures already painted from, my friend's using miniatures already painted from earlier campaigns that we've done in Necromunda. And the vehicle they're using is a rock grinder, Goliath rock grinder truck, I think is what it's called. That's what the Gene Stealer cultists use. And we already had that vehicle already painted up as well. So this gang is going to take the quickest to paint, because I just got to do 2 members. While everybody else, I got to do a vehicle, a sentinel, as well as the rest of the gang as well. So yeah. Looking forward to getting these guys done real quick and then moving on, so that way we could use them for our campaign. So that is what I'm working on next, is the Highwaymen as well as the Road Crew. 2 more gangs, and then once these 2 guys are done, I got another gang to go, and then we're ready to start doing battle reports. Alright you guys, there you have it. That is the current progress I've made so far on our Necromunda Anarchy Road campaign series with the miniatures I'll be using for that. I'm really liking the way that these vehicles are coming out. They're looking really awesome with all the custom work that they did on them. The gangs look really cool as well. And I can't wait to start putting these guys on the tabletop and seeing exactly what they can do in our Necromunda Anarchy Road campaign setting. And once again, down below in the description, I have the link for my blogger page that shows the actual instructions that I wrote for a campaign set in the Ash Wastes. I call that campaign setting Road War. That's what I call it. So Necromunda Road War. I'm not sure why Games Workshop hasn't released a rules pack about that yet, or a supplement to it, or, you know, you think they would, because then they could sell you vehicles and miniatures for that, which would be awesome. But, you know, and plus the lore, they talk about it quite a bit in the books, especially in the new books that are coming out with, like, House of Chains, for example, the upcoming House of Blades, and the House of, what's it called, the House of Steel, I think is what it is. That's the one with the Orlock guys. But anyways, it looks really, really awesome, and I can't wait to see what those rule packs say. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to our channel. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.